So in JP, the most recent World Tournament has just ended, and Global is getting their World Tournament next weekend. So I just want to talk about basically ranking all these like newer World Tournament units, because I feel like there has been quite some change from like how the last previous World Tournaments have been, because they just wanted to give us like a billion like AoE units into the game since like last like basically like the anniversary even. So we've gotten a lot of these AoE characters. I think that kind of spiced things up. But again, this is the GP World Tournament that just ended. Global's getting this World Tournament here, which honestly, I would probably say skip. Like, I want to say skip it, right? Do the World Tournament still, get 30 mil, but you don't really have to easy these characters. They don't really provide anything. Wait for this one. I think, you know, this Beerus is interesting, and this Chi Goku is interesting. Like, even this Vegeta, I guess he could be okay in certain situations, right? But yeah, this World Tournament is cool, because you could also exchange for the first EZA units, like that Super Saiyan 2 Tech Gohan. Pretty nice, but let's close these here. Let's get to the actual rankings. I know a lot of people want to hear this. I got a couple of requests about doing a list like this, so let's just say Majunior, right? Majunior. He's actually not in here, funny enough, but he's so just good, right? This guy, his AoE could basically wipe out most of the time. Now, certain situations under a physical Ginyu lead, I've had experienced this guy could not kill physical enemies if he's like got free dupe, or sometimes even with a dupe in him, unless he crits. Now that's because we have some of these units like, you know, DBS Broly and even like physical Ginyu lead, some or Raditz. I think yeah, usually if it's like under a Raditz leader or a physical DBS Broly leader, I can't kill some of these like front physical units, even if I aim to attack another unit first. It's just their HP pools are too high for like free dupe under 120% leader. So if you're like having a 55% Majunior, you probably want to run him under his own team. There is a leader skill like kind of team you could build with some of these AoE units. I'll probably make just a guide before the World Tournament, you know, starts in Global later this week, like how to effectively use Majunior, because I think there are a good amount of strategies you can use to get used to him, because it's kind of a different playstyle being an active skill building up unit, right? But this guy, you can get his active skill every single time in World Tournament. Even if you don't kill some of these enemies, you disable the action. So it works like a Ghost Usher as well. This guy usually is able to kill every enemy, even at free dupe, under his own leader skill. He just is so easy with him. And now we have this list, right? This is the amount of time it takes for the animation to finish to KO. Now you look at this, Majunior is at 17.7 seconds. You're like, wow, that is a lot longer than some of these units. Why are a lot of people saying he's the best World Tournament unit still? He's kind of slow, and his animation is slower for sure. But you have to keep in mind, you don't have to collect key spheres. You don't have to worry about key spheres. You don't have to set up the key spheres, use an item. This guy makes things a lot faster. Let's say if you're using STR Piccolo, and there's a couple of attacks in the front slot, you have to use an Usher. Then you have to collect orbs with all three of your units. Majunior, there's 3 enemies in the front attacking. You use his active skill every time. If there's no enemies, you still use his active skill. It's the same thing, and it's very consistent. It's less item reliant as well. You don't even have to worry about Ghost Ushers anywhere basically with this Majunior on your team. Let's say you're running Majin Vegeta as another unit, right? He's pretty quick, and you have to use an Usher and or changing item. Even though he is quicker, you have to use those extra items sometimes, or sometimes you can struggle to hit the 18 key without it. And Majunior is like, no, I don't care, right? So it's just too easy. And then you could use him as your leader, which is pretty stupid. He's so good. He's so good. And most of the good World Tournament units like a fit under his leader skill. I feel like the best World Tournament units actually do fit under his leader skill as well. So it just makes things so much easier. Now, I think I'll go with another recent good unit, this guy. Now, you may be thinking he's a tier under, and I think there is a reason for that. This STR Piccolo is pretty much the second best World Tournament unit, I think, pretty easily. The orb changing is nice, right? But he auto supers, basically, and he guarantee crits. It's just too strong. And he basically is able to kill every single enemy. Now, in certain situations where Majunior may not be able to kill, this STR Piccolo can kill like every single time because he's guaranteed critting. But I think the consistency Majunior has with the fact that, again, it's an active skill, You don't have to worry about using items still. You know, you don't have to worry about selecting orbs. It just makes things a lot smoother than using this S tier Piccolo. The only time S tier Piccolo I would actually choose to use him above Majunior in terms of like, okay, they're in the same rotation together, is if there's no attacks in the first slot, because they're basically the same time frame, except I think Piccolo, this S tier Piccolo is like, again, he's slightly faster and like a second or two off if you use him instead of Majunior, if we compare them directly. And that's like the only niche situation where he's better. But most of the time, Majunior, even if he's 55% under Ginyu lead, he may not be able to kill these physical enemies, like I said, but if he's under his own lead, he's able to wipe up the field still every single time, as long as you like target the correct enemy, right? And I think I just like that a lot. And the no Usher thing is so good. So that's why I do like this Majunior over this Piccolo, just by a pretty wide margin. He's just much more flexible for the World Tournament. Maybe you could say this, but I think I might do this. He like Majunior just makes it so easy and so like brainless. He's by far like the easiest World Tournament to use, and he's one of the fastest still. It's pretty nasty, and he's basically I honestly, a lot of people are still running Ginyu, but I would say he's the best World Tournament leader himself, personally. Just my opinion. I think I like how his team runs a lot better. By the points, you could say Ginyu is still a better leader because you're able to run more of these LRs like Krillin, but I think in terms of like how easy it is for players and, you know, accessibility with free dupes, right, this guy's better. But these are basically the two units that revolve around the World Tournament. Every other unit, there are good options, right? We'll kind of fill in. Again, I won't really talk about as many units. Like, I'm not going to talk about these old units. You're not going to use them. I'll talk about this Majin Vegeta. I would have him in A right here. I think he's still a good option. He's under Majunior's team. If you have to use items with him, I think he is one of the best options to use items with, because again, his super attack is very short. Unlike, you know, like S tier Broly or even Vegeta and Nappa, usually, almost like S tier Broly, right? He doesn't really have to additional to do that, right? He just straight up 18 key, 11.3 seconds, pretty quick. If you're able to get lucky with the orb changing, that works pretty nice for him. And yeah, I think I do like him right here as one of the better World Tournament units still, because if you're going to use items, he's one of the fastest super attack animation characters, and that can make up for your slight loss of time by using those items, which is why I like him a lot. He could be an issue, right? But again, you have to use those items with them, and I think that if you use that to your advantage, this guy is really, really powerful here. Vegeta and Nappa I would put in the same tier. I think that they're slower than Majin Vegeta, but they're less item reliant, and they're both AGL. I think they both do. I think Majin Vegeta has the potential to do more damage because of the nuking items, but they still do enough damage to wipe out most of the field. The only times I haven't seen them kill is, funny enough, this grade 8 Vegeta. I see a lot of people running him now, and he is able to stonewall them in finals specifically, but other than that, they're able to wipe out the field pretty effectively. Vegeta and Nappa are actually quite key efficient. They get 5 key if you're above this HP threshold, which you're never going to get hit in World Tournament. You always want to make sure you're using an item or a Majunior. You never, ever want to get hit. So you're always going to have that active. And they're able to do, I think, around, like, you know, in my experience, they even had defensive items. They have like 1.7-ish mil attack stats if you're hitting like 15-ish key or something, right? And that is enough to kill most of the enemies. So I think that's a good thing. So again, you have to consider they're going to be at 8 keys starting off, so you only need a couple of key, depending if you have like a, you know, physical Ginyu. Actually, I'll talk about him. He's not on the list, right? Physical Ginyu, I think you want to run him on the team really badly. He does give key 3, and unfortunately, he does not really orb change most of the time, but he is given that key 3, which is really, really good. There's a lot of these support units that could orb change and give key 3 as well, like, you know, this Bulma, right? This Bulma is a really good unit. I mean, I brought up some of these units, like support units, like this guy's really good with Majunior. This guy's actually good with Majunior because he has big bad bosses. Man, he gives 3 key, right? If you're facing these pure hybrid sign enemies, which is not as common as you may think, right? This guy is good as a rainbow leader, but I kind of just brought them up so I could talk about them just a little bit. But yeah, I think they're a pretty nice option here. Let's talk about one of the newer units again. Let's say this Goku. I would honestly say this Goku is that's tough. I feel like he's just a better version of Vegeta and Nappa, kind of. It's tough because his super attack animation is actually really long, 22.7 seconds. It is the longest out of there, and I actually personally haven't been able to use him, so I'm going off of what some people say about this Goku and the fact that he's really, really good for the World Tournament. I don't know. What is he up here with this Piccolo? Because I've seen the thing about this Goku, he's always able to kill, because he does like a 6 mil attack stat like every single time if rainbowed, right? But he's able to always kill every single time. He's guaranteed to kill. He does too much damage. Even though his super attack animation is long, I think that consistency in killing is really important. He's very consistent with ki, right? He gets ki 5 against 2 more enemies, ki 5 base lane, so he's at 10 ki, right? Every single time he's at 10 ki, so, and plus a 3 ki from leader skill, he's at 13 ki, not counting support, right? So he's able to get his 18 ki every single time without the use of items. You only really have to worry about using Ghost Searcher with this guy, whilst again, like someone like Majin Vegeta, you may have to worry about using an attack item. Even Vegeta Nappa, maybe sometimes you want to use an attack item to kill. This Goku does kill every time. He's key consistent. I think he's really good. I don't know if I would say he's as good as this Piccolo though. Maybe I would do like this, or you could do like this. I think I will do this. His super attack animation is just a bit too long. He's also not under the Majunior team. You would have to run Physical Ginyu as a leader. I feel like I would do this probably. I think this S tier Piccolo is clearly better than these three. But I think this Goku, I don't think he's clearly better than these guys specifically. But let me know what you guys think if you use them. But he's able to effectively one-shot every unit very easily. So I would still say this guy's better than these two in terms of usage. But I would say he's on the same tier of strength as them. Now, let's talk about another unit, Super Buu. I don't like Super Buu. We'll have him down here. The issue with Super Buu is the fact that he has to worry a lot about ki. I think he's very, very, very worrisome about ki. And because he wants to get hit multiple times for ki. This is like a super battle road character. This is not a World Tournament character. And he's able to do a lot of damage, but he has major ki issues. And I feel like most of these other characters have much less ki issues. I mean, this guy, he's not under Majunior's team as well, right? You have to run him under the yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to run him under the Physical Ginyu leader skill as well. He doesn't really have great linking partners, and I feel like even with that, he doesn't really like he'll do more damage. I just think I like how these units fit overall in terms of using them in the World Tournament better. I don't like this Super Buu at all, really. I mean, the thing I'm thinking about is like, you know, him and Majin Vegeta, you can kind of say they're like similar-ish. But I would rather use Majin Vegeta because he does actually fit under this unit's leader skill. And his super attack animation is way shorter. I mean, this guy still has one of the higher super attack animations, right? And he struggles for ki still. Well, it's like, you know, I was talking about with Majin Vegeta earlier, it's like this guy, you can make up for the time lost, right? So that's why I'm not really a fan of Super Buu here. He's just not good here. He's a super battle road unit, I think. That's where you're going to want to really use him. And he misses out on this attack, because you're not gonna get the he's not gonna get hit, so you're missing out on his major multiplicative attack. He gets, I guess he still gets 90% here, but this is a huge buff of damage that he's just not gonna get, so you're just gonna kind of struggle like that, right? I would say, I mean, we can kind of fill out some of these other units. EZA Krillin, I'd say EZA Krillin's better than this guy, but EZA Krillin I wouldn't say as good as these guys. He just doesn't really hit as hard, and I really do think that him getting that normal actually does kind of hurt him, because his EZ doesn't really make him that better for World Tournament, because there's actually a reason for that. You're like, okay, well, he got these percentage buffs, right, which is pretty huge, but you're only under one leader skill under the like, let's say you're under the Ginyu team, which is what you have to run for this guy. You're using a 120% leader. That's like Agile Super Vegito kind of like leader skill levels of boost, right? If you're like 140% is Agile Super Vegito, this guy's even worse. That's like Physical Vegito Blue. It's like if you had a 60% double lead. And it's like, even then, flat boost actually are still like probably better than a lot of the times in these like percentage boost. Now, this multiplicative buff is nice, right? He missing on some of this attack here. It's just, I think the fact that he didn't even really get much better from his EZA in terms of offense in World Tournament, and then he gets this extra additional that's a rare chance to become a super attack right here, and that does slow it down a little because he, a lot of times, he wants to get 2 super attacks to kill these enemies, and it's like, okay, you have to consider he has to double super a lot of these times because he's not really doing the amount of damage. So he's at 14.7, right? But then he has to do 2 attacks, and then sometimes he has to do a normal. So I'm not really a big of a fan of him in terms of that situation, but he is very consistent with ki. Him getting where's the ki in his passive? Well, he actually doesn't get ki here, huh? That's another thing. No, yeah, he has 3 ki here. That is helpful. With Shattering the Limit too, but it's like that's to help aim the 12 ki, but sometimes he could have ki issues then in that situation, because he's only starting off at 6 ki by himself. Even though you want to aim for the 12 ki, yeah. I don't know. Krillin is it's just there's units like this guy that exist now, right? Even Vegeta Nappa at the time, they had a lot better consistency. So yeah, I'll put Krillin there. I think I have Broly at the lower end here of A. I don't think he's on Krillin tier. I do think that I like these units right now better than Broly, because sometimes you're not fighting these, he wants to fight a Goku family enemy for super effective, and it's pretty much all these enemies you're not really going to see too commonly because they're the slowest AoE enemies, right? There's not really like any Goku family support units are going to be running for the World Tournament team, and stuff like that. And then this Broly has to double super a lot of these times, and the time kind of adds up. So the fact that he's also under the Ginyu team as well, like the Ginyu team is still good, but it just, there's better units. Like when this guy was like your main guy, right? It's like, okay, things are kind of cooking, but this guy's not the main guy anymore. He's a unit that you use on the side, and sometimes you could even have consistency with ki, because back then I feel like it was a lot more common to see these Goku family enemies than now, right? Just filling out more of these units. I'll just put Physical Cell there. Don't really want to talk about him much. Kid Gohan, he's probably better than Boo still. He's a new unit, so I'll bring him up here. Kid Gohan, the issue with him is the fact that his super attack animation is way too long. Even though he is, I feel like, pretty good with ki, right? Getting the ki 4 here, the ki 4 here. His super attack animation is just way too long, right? 20.4 seconds, and then sometimes if you get the other super attack, 21.7. I think it's just a bit much in terms of time, and the fact that he's not necessarily like one-shotting, like he's not hitting as hard as this Goku is, I think, a lot of these times. And that's pretty much it there. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not really a fan of this Gohan necessarily. And I don't know, he kind of just fits weird into the team. So, I mean, I guess you could maybe put him up here just because, but it doesn't really matter. I'll do this like this, sure. But there's these units I don't really care about. I think we're pretty much done here. I guess I'll put Raditz, whatever. I wouldn't recommend any of these units down here at all for World Tournament. No. I mean, people have been using him as a side option. I guess he's like right here, I think. Like somewhere here, sure. People have been putting him on the team because, like, I think he's probably better than Cell. Maybe because against some Gokus, at least get the intro, but whatever. He does hit a lot harder than Cell. I don't know, maybe whatever. It doesn't matter. But he's under this team, which I guess helps, right? Just adding an extra AoE option there, but. Yeah, I'm done. Again, I'll make a video probably talking about how to effectively use Majunior and his team. Best setups for World Tournaments, what kind of strategies you could use. But that's it. I think this is a generally... Oh, you know who I forgot to add here? Physical Dragon Ball Super Broly. Okay, let's say this is Physical Broly. I would put, here. I think at the top of A. Like, if we put him at the top of A, his super attack animation is 14.8. It's, like, right in the middle. But he has no issues with ki. He's able to wipe up the field, I feel like, pretty much every time. I think he's a good World Tournament unit. You could potentially even say here. Maybe. Because he's very easy to use. STR enemies, maybe he doesn't kill some of them, but I feel like usually he's able to kill the enemy. Yeah, usually he's able to kill, and he does guarantee an additional super attack in the event that he doesn't kill. So yeah, I think I like him. I think he's fine, right? Yeah, I think he's good. I think he's good here. So whatever. Let me know what y'all think. I think I'll do this, and I'm done. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.